Go over some of the advanced sampling options that Alchemy allows us. So with Logic you have EXS24 or the new sampler and quick sampler, which are excellent just for getting kind of quick and easy samples. But Alchemy gives you a few more options for really kind of messing with the sound and actually affecting it you in different ways. So if you want to be a bit more unique and original with your sound creation, Alchemy is an interesting option to explore. So what I've just got a blank Alchemy sound up here, and I'm going to initialize my preset in the usual way. But instead of picking a saw wave, sine wave, etc., I'm going to go to import audio. Now what this brings up is this browser window, and you can go through like the inbuilt Alchemy samples, the EXS or sampler samples. You can browse to your desktop, or you can literally just click and drag and drop a WAV file into the drop zone. I've got a folder here, some samples I've already kind of pre-planned. So I'm going to go to my drum, and I'm just going to select all of these, all the ones I want to use. And in the sampler mode, analysis mode down here, I'm going to pick sampler. And for the mapping, I'm going to go to drum. Hit import. And that loads up all of my sounds. So I can play them on the keyboards in the usual way. Now, the sampler mode is exactly the same as your EXS24 or your sampler, quick sampler. It's just your standard playing back the audio. You can pitch it up and down the keyboard or use one-shot drum mode, which you've got here. So I can kind of program a pattern. And the good thing about this is we have all the options in the synth available to us. So I could adjust the filter. To make the sound a bit more unique. Kind of adjust those things here. I let it drive. You can also add some effects. So maybe you put on just a compressor for now. Beef the sound up a bit. If you click on the source, you can see the waveforms that it has sampled. And we also have the option of kind of maybe tuning them down. This is the fine tune. Add a bit of detune to it. Panning. Or volume. So standard kind of sampler, drum sampling, it's just a quick and easy way of kind of getting in some samples and playing them as a drum pattern. I'll move on to some different options now. So for my second example, I'm going to use a electric piano sample. So let's go back to my initialized preset, and I'm going to just close this one down. Here we go. So I'm going to pick my input audio, and this time I'm going to use one of these piano samples I've got. And again, go to sampler, but instead of drum, we're going to pick pitch mode so we can pitch it up and down the keyboard. If you find it hasn't gone to the key you want, just press edit, and you can see the sample here, and you can change the root note here. So mine is tuned to C2, so that's perfect, but if I had it wrong, I can change the tuning like so. I'm going to turn the volume up a bit as well. You see the sample here, if it hasn't got the start point and the end point you want, you can adjust the parameters with this. Maybe just trim that bit of silence at the end. Cool. There's options for looping on here as well, so you can extend the sustain, but I don't want that on this particular sample. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to close my sample view, and I've got an option here for reverse, so I can play the sample backwards. Now this does it to the whole sample range, not on a key by key basis. But you get some quite nice effects with this. Now remember, with a sampler mode, you are pitching the sound up by actually speeding up and slowing down. So you might find when you're playing chords that certain ones might end at different times. So my low note's sustaining, whereas my high note is being sped up. But you can get some interesting effects. So I'm going to put it into reverse mode, and I can maybe adjust my filter. You have options for the envelopes, maybe it adds a bit more release. And a bit of attack, just to kind of get that fade in. You can also add some effects. So let's put maybe a delay and a reverb in nice on this. Get a really kind of ambient sound. That long release, it fades out at the end. Okay, I'm going to go back to my drums, but this time I'm going to use a different sampling mode. So this is where it gets really fun. What I'm going to do this time, so I've initialized my preset, I'm going to go back to my import audio, and I'm going to pick my drums again. So as we have with the kick, clap, and these hats. Now instead of sampler mode, I'm going to go to granular, and again pick drum. For my mapping, hit import. Now granular mode, what it does, it splits the sound into little grains. It's almost like it takes little samples that are a lot faster than the whole sound. If I go into my source view, you can kind of see what's going on here. So we're in granular mode. Let's just play the sound as it is. So you get some really interesting effects of this. What we've got here are controls for the grain size and the amount of grains you're using. And just by tweaking these, you can really change the sounds. Got a random time and a random pan. Get some kind of stereo effects. The number of taps as a delay effect. And the time and delay is done by this spacing. Put that to normal, alt click. I've also got the option of slowing down the grains, so I've got speed here. If I slow that right down, it's a really weird kind of grimy effect. Space it out. One of the really fun things you can do with this, if we go to our performance controls, is you can map these to these controls here. So if I, for instance, control click on this first one, go add modulation, perform, control 1, that maps that to this first control. Depth up. Add this density to my second performance controller. Again, make sure you depths up. Let's do some more of these. Take the pan off for now. Add this delay effect to another one. Perform, Control 4, depth up. Let's do the speed to another one. Control 5, turn depth up. And let's do the spacing to another one. So perform, Control 6, and turn the depth up. What that means now we have control over all these parameters from these kind of quick and easy shortcuts. And what we can do, we can use these snapshots to have different alternatives. So what I'm going to do, let's just send it back to default for snapshot 1, move over to snapshot 2, make some changes. Go to number 3, change it again. Five, 6. What we can do then, play the pattern and use these snapshots to go through some different options. So you can get some really unique and interesting and quite broken sounds by using the granular mode. Final one I'm going to talk about is spectral sampling. So I'm going to go back to my electric piano for something a bit more pleasant. So let's go to our electric piano, and instead of sampler, I'm going to go to spectral. Again, choose pitch and hit import. Now, what Spectral does is it takes the samples and it remakes it using synthesis. So it almost re-synthesizes the sounds, which gives some really interesting textures. So let's just put all this back to default. Turn my effects off. You can maybe change the envelope, get a bit of a fade in. If we go to Spectral at the top here, you can see over the trace between pitch, which makes the sound up at little kind of pitched waves, or noise, which gives a much more percussive effect. Not always that useful, but it has some interesting tones. Let's go back to pitch. Now the really cool thing about Spectral is you have these kind of effects options here. Now these are just preset effects, but they can change the way that the sound is being resynthesized. So I go to this balloon one, you've got a mix control. The other one I really like for this is sort of the glaze and sort of shimmery modes. Let's get to glaze. So you can get some really kind of unique sounds just by using the different synthesis and sampling modes in Alchemy.